Greetings, 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 everyone. Thank you all for tuning in and welcome to another edition of Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. I am Yah-Tay Keaton, host of Female Barber Talk, and tonight is episode number 36. Slowly inching away at it. It's um it's a journey for sure, learning curve still. Um it's a very interesting progression. I'll say that. I want to say welcome to those of you who are tuning in to Female Barber Talk for the first time. If you're catching us on the replay, thank you for taking time out of your day to replay this podcast. And for those of you who join on a weekly basis, I greatly appreciate you. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, whether you're viewing via uh, Instagram, Facebook, or even here on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, not only for the podcast, but for Real Roots TV. So this podcast is featured on Real Roots TV, which is the YouTube channel for the podcast Female Barber Talk. Once again, this is episode number 36. I'm Yah-Tay, also known as Yah-Tay the Barber Stylist as well, because I am a barber stylist. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran, certified life coach, and life purpose and career coach as well. I'm award-winning author. Here's my book, A Heritage of Hair, and I won 3 awards with it. But nonetheless, I'm also a trained paraprofessional. I've worked in the industry, youth. I'm going to say youth. Most oftentimes when we say industry, now that I'm a barber stylist, you think the beauty and barber industry. But before the beauty and barber industry, I actually worked with children in various capacities for 16 years at the point where I decided, okay, I'm going to go full time into this barbering career of mine that I had just newly finished school and passed state board and just said, hey, I got to jump out here and do it. So, and talking about that, tonight's topic is about, or the title of it. Let me go ahead and put it up for y'all because I sure forget to put it across the bottom there. Give me a second. There we go. It is tonight's topic is entitled "From Barber Student to Professional Barber: What to Expect in Your First Year Behind the Chair." Um, I'm going to share some of my experiences, as well as give you give you 5 points of 5 areas that I feel is important to this topic. Now, I always say this: there's many things that others would consider to be important, but these are just some things that I consider important. So you can take it, put it with what you know. If you don't need it right now, put it on the shelf. But these are things that I'm going to share with you that I think are relevant now and will be relevant 10, 15, 20 years down the line. So whenever you're catching this video, um, I think these 5 points will be relevant for you even at that time. So, as I said, I'm Yah-Tay the Barber Stylist. I'm the host of Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. I am here in Columbia, South Carolina. I've told you about the book. Give you a little bit about my background. So with this particular episode, in episode 35, we talked about the first year in barber school. Now, let me phrase that. I say first year because I'm inclusive of students who are taking barbering and or master hair care if they're here in the state of South Carolina. Um, it takes them 2 years. So they enter into the program their 11th grade year, and then the senior year is their last year. So if you're in high school, we talk about the first year. Even if you're out in a community program, at an academy, at an institute, at your state-run voc rehab program, wherever you are within your community. If you're outside of high school, at a minimum, it's going to take you 10 months, maybe 10 months. Depending on if you're full or part-time, it's going to take you anywhere from 12 to 18 months. All right. And if you miss time, you got to make up time. So it could take you a little bit longer. But nonetheless, episode 35 talked about the first year of barber school. I gave some tips that I believe were important to that. If you haven't seen it, go back and catch it. So this is in essence um, like a next level or next step after that process. So today we'll be talking about the next level, of course, from barber student to professional barber, what to expect in the first year behind the chair. This is where school ends, and I hate to say real life, but being in the trade begins. When you're actually in the trade, you finish school, you've taken state board, you've passed state board, and now hopefully you found a place, whether it be commission or booth rental, um, well, in our case, unless you got somebody in your suite that's licensed, then for your first year as a barber professional and master hair care specialist, you have to do apprenticeship. Not sure what it is in other states. Look at your LLR. I'm sure many of them, once your license you've passed, you can go right into owning your own space, running your own thing. But here in the state of South Carolina, we do a 1 year apprenticeship after we've completed our 1,500 hours. It's kind of, that's something, huh? I digress on that subject. But anywho, this is the podcast, I'm sorry, the episode where we're kind of taking off from school and going into that first year. It's exciting, um, but it can also be challenging. And my first year, it was a little challenging for me. And actually, if I'm transparent, I experienced a number of challenges early on, but that's life. You're gonna have the challenges. It's how we face them, how we view ourselves during those challenges, and what we do during that time. So there are challenges. It comes challenges. All I'm trying to do with this here and what I will be bringing forth is to prepare you for it, prepare you for the next step, prepare you, for that next level. Utilize what I have, what I've experienced, and my heart and passion for teaching is to share that knowledge and information with you, whether it be experienced, researched. I bring people on. I'm lining up some individuals now, but in the meantime, because like I say, I have that teaching spirit in me, which I'm working on my license. I got to tell y'all that too. Anyway, I will be bringing things to you. So stay tuned for that. So in that, these are lessons you can carry with you now and in the years to come. I've already kind of mentioned that, but this is what it's all about. I'm going to bring you 5 points. I'm going to give you a bonus point. I'm going to include some video footage that I got off TikTok. I will recognize those individuals whom I, look for videos that kind of coincide with what I will be sharing with you all today. And I think that's about it. So if you all are ready, let's get going. In today's topic, once again, this is episode 36, titled From Barber Student to Barber Professional: What to Expect in Your First Year Behind the Chair. Like I said, there are many things to expect. And as I go through and provide these 5 points with a few examples, um, if something else come up, I'll share it with you that's relevant. We get comments in the comment section. I'll share those with you as well. And if you're catching this on the replay and you have a comment about it, do put it in the comment section, and we'll get to your comment. All right. So the first thing is the financial reality. Now, number one is financial reality. And I want to say this. I'm kind of old school coming into this. I'm a little more seasoned coming into this. So my values and how I see uh, the business, and just my vantage point is a tad bit different, because I've lived a little bit of life. I've had quite a few careers. The biggest thing is the soft skills and customer service that I've been able to carry over, which is very, very important as well. However, we're going to get back to this financial reality. Your first year isn't about getting rich. It's about building consistency. Now, that's not to say that you cannot be a 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure barber. It's not to say that. I'm not saying that, okay? I want you to understand the financial reality is, in that first year, it's not about getting rich, but it's about building your consistency. So, some things that I'm going to share with you. One, expect some slow weeks unless you've been diligent about building up your clients. You got a steady flow of clients, or you've been cutting for a while and you just needed to go through barber school, but you already got clientele. That's different. But the average person who's coming in is going to experience some slow weeks. Okay. Let's see who we got here. Hey, Ladosha, thank you for joining. Greatly appreciate it. Appreciate you tuning in. I'm following up on episode 35 with the first year barber school to the first year behind the chair. So I'm bringing some points, 5 to be exact, plus a bonus of some things that I believe are important as it relates to what to expect as your first year behind the chair. So the first one, again, is financial reality. And as I said, I'm not saying you can't make money and you won't make money, but the reality of it is, when you're coming into this newly, unless you have clientele built up already, you're going to experience some slow weeks. So where you may cut a handful, plan your budget accordingly. For me, let's be transparent. For me, I didn't step right out there into barbering full time. I was actually still, thank you. I was actually still working. I had been working on base at that time. I was a little over 4 years working with children. So I was still working. I would, because I worked in the after school program, except for in the summers, we did summer camps. I worked part-time on base and part-time in the barbershop. And during the school year, because I went in at a later time, I worked in the barbershop in the morning, and then I cut out lunchtime, got ready to go to the base to do my after school care. So that's how I kind of did that. So I worked Monday through Fridays at I'll say my full-time, part-time job. And then I worked at the barbershop. At that time, I was working 5 to 7 days a week. I really was, because I was looking to get in the reps, see how things worked, just trying to wrap my mind around, what is this like? I knew I had grew up in the industry, and being the daughter of a cosmetologist, that's a little bit different than being a barber. Ladosha says, I was going to say, use the school time to build clientele. Yes, I did, but I still didn't have as many clients as I could have potentially, because of COVID. I went through during COVID. So even when we went back to school, people were a little on edge about being close up, because in barbering, we right up on the client. There ain't no 6 foot difference unless we cutting, cutting like this here. Now we up close and personal. So it's a little different for us. But nonetheless, uh, uh, I want to say back to the one point: plan your budget accordingly. Um, you're gonna have to make the adjustments. It's simple. Unless you have clientele build up, you got people, which brings me into um, some shops. Those of you who are able to, get out there, you decide you want to booth rent, a go in commission, or get your own suite, because this could apply to a beauty professional as well. uh, Learn the system before signing on. Learn what it is that you need to know, whether it's booth rental, commission, and a suite. Uh, Gather the information that you need to make a sound decision. I personally went commission. I went commission for a number of reasons. But the biggest reason I went commission first, because I didn't, well, one, I had to do apprenticeship, and I didn't know that, oh, I could potentially booth rent from someone and still be under an individual who has a license to sign off for me. That was the furthest thing away from my mind. I knew commission, I needed to do commission because um, I wasn't ready for no booth rental. I don't know that I ever be ready for booth rental, honestly. And after having done commission for some time, I there's some pros and cons in everything, but I really am looking at some other things. I'll just say that. But anywho, I went commission because I wasn't ready for booth rental. I sure wasn't ready for salon suite at the time. One, you want to have a consistent clientele before you jump in to that aspect of it. Two, you need some capital saved up, because even if you don't have a clientele, they still gonna be expecting their booth rent and they salon suite monies every week, or whatever it is you all negotiate would be the pay period: weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. Most of the time it's weekly, but nonetheless, I didn't have those things squared away. So I wasn't going into that aspect of it. But to bring it back, some shops with the financial responsibility, if you choose booth rental, you got to have your capital set aside. If you choose a salon suite, a barber suite, you got to have that capital set aside, especially if you don't have the clientele, or if you have other source of income, then you have to budget accordingly. And then the other thing I mentioned about that is learning the system. So for commission, what is your percentage? And oftentimes when you're commissioned, you tend to be a 1099. Know the difference between 1099 and a W-2, because oftentimes those lines are crossed. Okay. So know what your responsibility and obligations are as a 1099, because being a W-2 is totally different from being a 1099. Look it up. I might have to do a podcast on 1099 versus W-2. But nonetheless, the last one is keeping track of your expenses: tools, products, rent, taxes, to avoid any surprises at tax time. I personally, my bookkeeper, who um, you might as well say she an accountant. She's been doing bookkeeping for over 40 some years. Payroll, bookkeeping, uh, taxes. She's written a couple books, you name it. She didn't do the accounting thing, but she can do the accounting thing, if you get what I mean. Anyway, Miss Wilma, giving Miss Wilma a shout out. Our WRJ Taxes. I'm gonna have to put her information up. But anywho, you want to keep track of your expenses, all of those things, because as a business, as a independent contractor, you're able to use those things as write-offs for taxes. Um, you just got to keep up with it. I personally use a well, I'm still old school. I like to see stuff, categorize it, even though we got these fancy programs that'll do it for you. I need to get up to speed. Anywho, keep track of your expenses. So from the financial reality of things, you're not going to get rich quick the first year. You're going to have to build consistency. You will have some slow weeks unless you've already built up your clientele, and you're going to have to plan budget accordingly if you don't have the clientele and if you're not doing it full time. And as I shared, I work part-time and I work part-time. Yes. So with that, I want to share this first video with you all. Let me take this off and pull up this first video. It's by Alan Genter, and he's talking about slow days. All right, check this out.
Need those. Those build character. If you just
All right, he's talking about you needing these
I don't know what
days.
barber needs to hear this, but you need them slow days, bro. You need those. Those build character. If you just came out the gate firing, you wouldn't understand. You wouldn't appreciate this shit. All right? It wouldn't build that grit, that entrepreneur spirit. I don't know. There's just something about it, man. When you get them slow weeks, like the first day, you might be like, okay, cool. I'll fuck with this, chilling a little bit. But then after that, you're like, wait a minute, I gotta get paid somehow. What the fuck? And you start grinding, you start doubling down, you start posting on social media, you start passing out cards. You need that shit, bro. As long as you do what you're supposed to do and you start fucking doubling down and grinding, you're gonna learn from the slow days versus those being the norm. Embrace them.
All right, so y'all, I embrace my slow days. I'm gonna share with you all my grind, what I did, how I did it, and he talked about patience. Well, I had the patience. I'm a little older. Number one, I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. I know that I'm in my calling, so that allowed me to have a level of patience to see this process through, and it is a process. You know, with anything, it builds. It take times. Take for instance this podcast. I don't have someone on every single week. That's my goal, is to have someone on every single week. But it takes work. And in between doing that and other stuff that I have going on, you know, I got to work with what I have. I'm a one-woman show right now. But nonetheless, in building my clientele, well, the first shop that I was in, we were located inside of a Walmart. So where we were located, you know, when you check out, you have a few stores, a storefront, maybe a nail shop, maybe, I don't know, some of them have, Walmarts have different things in them. Eyeglass spot. Of course, you got the customer service area. Some of them have banks, but nonetheless, I was inside of a barbershop that was located inside of Walmart. So we got a lot of clients passing by. You know, it was new. It was the first of its kind in this area within the Walmart establishment. So I was able to get people that way. I did Walmart. I passed out cards. I let them know, if they didn't know, hey, did you know that there's a new barbershop in Walmart? We're up front by the self-checkout counter. Um, you know, told them what we did. If they ask about the prices, I let them know about the prices. I also told them my schedule. I was like, hey, I'm Yah-Tay the Barber Stylist. I'm a new barber stylist in. Well, what is the barber stylist? And, you know, I would answer their questions, but nonetheless, I would walk Walmart, pass out cards, introduce myself, and talk to people. And not only just in Walmart, but whenever I was out and about, I told y'all I keep them, keep them in my pocket. I don't have them here because I've given them out, but I keep them in my pocket. I keep them on my person. I keep them in my car, so I'm able to hand out a flyer or a card to individuals. You are your business. You're your walking billboard. So you're interacting and engaging with people, even if they say I got a barber or I have a stylist. Well, if you ever need one, if your barber's ever booked, just reach out to me. I'll be your backup. You know what I'm saying? So those are some of the things that I would do. When I went to another barbershop, which was located in the mall, No Grease, and the first one was Lucky Spot Barbershop. When I went to No Grease, they were located inside the mall, and where we're located, where the barbershop is located, it's on the far end. So it's not by the food court. It's not in a main corridor where you get high traffic. It's off the beaten path, way in the back, per se, depending on where you enter the mall at. But I had to get out, do the same thing. So because I'm a barber stylist and I specialize in textured hair care or natural hair care, textured hair care, I focus in on one thing, and I'm gonna tell you how I decided on what I would focus on. I'm like, okay, if I'm in the mall and I see people with natural hair, I started out there. Okay, let's start with locks because that's real specific. I can see them. Not a whole lot of people do them, but people do them. Okay, so I decided to. Oh shucks, y'all, hold on. I forgot to put my charge on. Let me go get the cord. Hold on, y'all. Ain't this about something, huh? I'm setting up and forgot the cord. Forgot the cord. All right, let's see what Ladosha said before we get back to it. Okay, Ladosha says this real talk. She also says I was gonna say use the school time to build clientele. And then she says here, saying you are a barber stylist draws a person in for a conversation with you. Yeah, to sell your skills. True. Still to this day, I say barber stylist, even though my license say master hair care. Um, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I think I mentioned this, but I'm gonna tell y'all how I got the title barber stylist. So when I went to state board to do my practicum, they called the barbers and barber stylists in. And I was looking around like, who's the barber stylist? But then putting two and two together, I was like, okay, they're talking about master hair care. So in actuality, I do have extensive clipper training as a master hair care professional. Master hair care is under the barber board or barber umbrella for the state of South Carolina. Even though I say I'm like a cosmetologist, I'm similar as a cosmetologist. However, I have extensive clipper training. So instead of saying master hair care professional, I just say barber stylist. I thought it had a nice ring to it. It really speaks to what I do. I'm a barber and I'm a stylist. So I stuck with that. Ladosha says here, when I say out salon specializes in trichology, automatically they want to know more. Yes, and it's different like barber stylist. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I say that in introducing myself, I say it. The spark conversation. But what I back to what I was saying, that's how I got the came up, got the inspiration for the name. Doing oh, I can't think. my practical exam when they call for us to come in. So back to the point of how I begin to build clientele. So I narrowed it down: texture hair, natural hair, so I can, see those who had natural hair relax or whatever else they had. And I said, okay, let's narrow this down a little bit more. How can I zero it in? Then I said locks. I can get them in and out. Lock maintenance. So when I got to the barbershop at the mall, I had just started with them right before school started. So my plan, Yah-Tay, put a flyer together, which I did because I was able to hand it out when I was at the mall, hand it out, walking around, hand it out. I said it was $95. My lock special at the time before I went up was one retwist was 125. 125 include the shampoo, the retwist, and a basic style. Then I started noticing they want to get their hair cut, which, okay, I can cut too. That was the ultimate goal, to cut and lock, the retwist the hair or start the locks. But I didn't have it on the menu. Eventually I added it on and made it 175. So nonetheless, I focused in on that. I ran a special for $95. Okay. And I walked around, I handed it out, I handed it out. Now, let me share with you all. This is me being a seasoned individual. I can tell if somebody doesn't want to be bothered, or if my vibe, if I feel the energy that says, don't mess with that person, or don't initiate the conversation with that person, I'm going to listen. Okay. In saying that, I passed out cards to those who had locks or was with someone who had locks. And I shared the card. Hey, my name is Yah-Tay, the Barber Stylist. I work at the barber shop. And if you're interested in getting your locks maintenance, I'll be more than happy to do them. This is what I offer. This is a special that I'm running. You bring this in, you get the special. Simple. All right. That's how I actually began to build my clientele. And then I also talked about me not knowing how to cut straight hair initially. So I worked part-time at the barbershop and worked at Great Clips as well, because I wanted to learn how to cut straight hair and become more comfortable with cutting straight hair. And at the time, I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't proficient at it. Actually, I was scared of it because I thought it was really hard, when in actuality, it's a lot easier to cut straight hair once you get it. It's easy to cut straight hair. But in that, those are some of the things that I did to work them slow days in and begin to build up my clientele, and things began to roll from that. I still handed out flyers. I still talked to people. I complimented people on their hair genuinely. And when they thought that I wasn't genuine about it, I'm like, hey, I'm a barber stylist. So I'm not pulling your leg. I'm not just throwing, one over on you. But nonetheless, that's the financial reality part. Let's get into this next one, which is actually building your clientele. So I've kind of gone into it without actually saying that's what it is. But building your clientele is the second point. Clients don't appear overnight. They won't appear overnight unless you've already been working to build them. They're built through service and consistency. Service. I'm going to tell y'all, I couldn't cut hair all that well in the beginning, but I tell you what, my service and my consistency with the people that were coming in, to include walk-ins, hands down, I had it. I felt like I was the best, you know, and I had to think that way because, one, I understood customer service, which is very important, soft skills, greeting people, making eye contact, being interested. And I'm going to say, I won't say genuinely interested, which I am genuinely interested in my conversation with the person that I'm speaking with or servicing at that time, because it's just me and them. Forget everybody else in the room. It's just me and them in the room at that time. So, but I say that because I looked at my service, I looked at my customer service, and I made sure that I was consistent. I was consistent. So, with this, you want to give every client the same professional experience, whether it's their first time or their fifth visit. You want to treat it like it's the first time, being consistent, giving them that service, whatever that service is, you give it to the best of your ability and be uh, just, I'm going to say customer service. Okay. It's so important. Your soft skills, your people skills. Okay. Please. Thank you. Hello. How you doing? How was your day? You know, Rod talked about this when he came on uh, uh, a few episodes back. But nonetheless, give every client the same professional experience, whether they're walk-in or they're your client. Because a walk-in who's a customer could potentially become your client, but it's going to start with your service and consistency. Using social media as a free portfolio. When I was in design school, I had a portfolio. I carried around stuff, but that was back when it really wasn't no social media. Maybe Facebook had just come out then, but I was a little leery about Facebook because of the training military training that I had. I was skeptical about a lot of stuff. Still is to a certain degree, but I'm a little more lax because you see me on social media. Anywho, using social media as free portfolio, you're able to post your work, you're able to show your work, post cuts. You want to do it as consistently as you can. Some people give a variety of times you should post, how many times you should post, when you should post, how often you should post. I'm going to leave that up to you because sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. Like last week, I was so tired for one because I worked a lot, but just exhausted. How about I forgot to post the post for dang, for the podcast. I forgot to put that up. And I was like, you know what? I put it out enough that we on every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But you see what I mean? Even I forget. But nonetheless, you want to use social media to as a free portfolio to post your work and post whatever consistency you deem is necessary for you. Let's see. LaDosha says people and image skills need more attention and training in the industry. Yes, I'm going to get to that. That is another point that I have, the fifth point. But nonetheless, offer incentives like referral discounts or first time specials to encourage repeat business. I had already shared with you all how I built my clientele. I offer a promo. It was back to school time when I started. Well, it was coming up on back to school when I started. So I ran that promo of it's $25, $30 off depending on no, it was $35 off. It's $35 off. It was off the service. I ran that promo from August to September, and then I looked at my numbers and I was like, you know what? I still want to up it a little bit. So I ran it through October. And of course, I evaluated my numbers again. In all honesty, I ran it all the way up to November. I actually did, because then we were getting into the holiday season. So by then I was starting to get more clients. I began to feel a little bit more comfortable with taking walk-ins to actually cut and fade. Um, I talk about my experience with that in my book. I won't get into all of it, but I had some experiences in my first shop where I had lost my confidence in my ability to fade, and I can show you some images where my fades were pretty doggone good, but what happened and transpired in the shop and me leaving, um, it I allowed it to kill my confidence. So I had to go through that process of rebuilding and doing all of those things all over again. And it happens. I talked about challenges and excitement in the beginning. You're gonna have some periods where you're excited. You're gonna have some challenges. You're gonna have some points where you doubt yourself, doubt your skills, doubt it all. But in that, you have to remain consistent, remain persistent, and keep at it, especially if it's your passion. Keep at it. So, once again, incentives, referrals, offer discounts for referrals. Um, all of this encourages repeat customers. With that being said, I want to show you a video by Cold Cuts. It's about 33 seconds, and he's talking about building clients. And then we'll get into the next point.
You need to have a go-to-market strategy. When you don't
Okay.
know the best
All right. He says you need to have a go-to-market strategy. Let's listen to
the best
this.
way to build a strong clientele is this. You need to have a go-to-market strategy. When you don't know the best way to build clientele, that means you don't know your client. Many barbers do this. They just get a pair of clippers, get their license, stand behind the chair, and wish and hope. How are you approaching this market? Who, what, when, where, why, and how? Those 6 questions, you answer those and you will know exactly who your clients are, and then you will know exactly how to build and how to attract those clients.
Okay. So I did this without doing it. So remember when I told you I was building clientele and I was new in this new barbershop in the mall and I didn't have anybody, nobody. My who was textured hair individuals. My what was I what I needed clients. Where did I go look? In the mall setting, because I could get out and walk in the mall, I walked the mall, all of Columbiana Mall, from one end to the other, each wing. I even went in a few stores that I thought I would see a lot of people, like the tennis shoe store, the sneaker store, Champs, and all of those different places. Would walk in and check them out. The food court. I would definitely go to the food court because everybody hang out at the food court. But my primary focus was natural hair. I zeroed in on locks. So, like I say, I used the who, what, when, where, and why, and how. My how was I needed to get out and walk the mall. That's how I was able to build it, to get those clients in. And then word of mouth started getting out there of people who would come into the barbershop, didn't know that we offered natural hair care services, begin to inquire about it. So that was also a helpful hand. And when I wasn't in the barbershop, I would leave flyers up at the receptionist desk. So if in the event that someone came in and inquired about someone doing natural hair or braids, locks, twists, whatever, my card was there for them to pass out and they could contact me at a later point. So once again, building clientele, clients don't appear overnight. They're built through service and consistency. So hone in on your clients, that the customers that do come in. Make sure you're giving them the same professional experience, whether it's their first or fifth time. Use social media to showcase your work. Be consistent. Whatever consistency looks like for you, do that to promote what it is that you do. and offer incentives. You know, there are some pros and cons about discounts. Well, stores do it all the time. Uh, Businesses do it all the time. You're a business. So offer incentives like referral discounts, first time specials like I did, to encourage repeat customers or to get them in to see you. So the next one is, and this is um, it's kind of a touchy subject. Shop culture and professionalism. I've been seeing a lot of stuff about what's professional, what's not professional in the barbering industry and your clients, and you know who you attract, your tribe, this, that, and the other. At the end of the day, you still should be carry yourself in a professional manner and operate in that manner. So with that, shop culture and professionalism, you're going to be stepping into a team environment if you're going into a barbershop. And I'm going to use that term lightly because some will be a team, some won't. And, you know, some will act like a team, some may not act like their team, or they're there and they're there. But learn the flow of the shop, learn the culture of the shop, um, learn about the shop environment. I'll just say that. So some examples that I want to share with you as it relates to shop culture and professionalism is you got to respect the shop rules. Everywhere is going to have some type of rule. Like take for instance, Walmart. When I worked at the shop in Walmart, they were open uh, certain times. So we had to be there at a certain time to open up. And then depending on your shift, or if you were closing, then you was there to close. Or if in my case, at that point, I had I was there part-time. So I was there open and left around lunchtime so that I can get to my after school care program. But in that, you want to respect the shop rules, not only opening and closing hours, but cleaning, sharing the space, because you are sharing the space with other individuals, and etiquette with other barbers, you know, addressing them, um, communicating with them. Take, for instance, I'm going to tell you an etiquette that I had. If I saw an individual that was serviced by another barber, I would presume that they wanted to be serviced by that barber again. That's just professional courtesy for me, you know. And if they didn't mind, I was like, okay, no problem. That goes again to I knew I know that I'm in my calling. I knew that I was in my calling and I was patient. So I wasn't trying to hustle somebody else's client. I wasn't trying to get somebody else's client in my chair. I was doing it organically and on my own merit with service, consistency, and professionalism, looking the part, dressing the part, acting the part. So that was what I was relying on. In that, you know, cleaning, do y'all sweep? You know, do we go around and sweep for everybody? You know, is one person doing all the sweeping or everybody doing all the sweeping? You know, things along that line, because you are sharing the space. You got to keep it clean. Some people work in hair. I don't work in hair. Anywho, this is another one. I think there's a difference between shop talk and gossip. Honestly, I kind of kept to myself when it came down to that, you know, getting into a bunch of conversations. Really leery about that because you don't know who's in the shop, who know what. Uh, what you say? Ladosha says, look busy and different. Yeah, you don't know who's who and what's what and who know who and you just don't know. So if you can avoid gossiping or conflicts, I would stay out of stuff like that. I'm just serious. One, because I'm a little older, I just ain't got time to be going through all of that stuff. I focus on my clients and growing my clientele. That's what I focus on. So with that shop culture and professionalism, you're going to have that. You decide how you want to engage, or if you want to engage in that. Know that you don't know who's in the shop. You don't know who know who. You don't know who's listening. You just don't know. All right. I'm going to just leave it at that. And here's another thing. LaDosha says here, look busy and offer to help your colleagues when sweeping, sanitation, or getting their coat. Yes, customers love to see the teamwork and loves a leader. Yes. And I'm going to tell you, LaDosha is absolutely right. People look at that. Wintertime, we had a coat rack. I would offer to take their coats, even me, for a gentleman. You know, if I see him taking it off, I grab it, hang it up. A woman, same exact thing. When they're done with their service, guess what? I go over, grab it, help them put it on. I genuinely care about it, but you know, that's also part of service. It's not just you here for your haircut, you got it, you gone. All right, thank you, bye. See you later. No, that wasn't what it was all about. So with that, I also want to share with you in shop culture and professionalism, and being in this team environment that you're stepping into, learning to flow with the shop and building culture. I'm gonna give you a video about building culture, and the limit is from the limitless barber lounge. He's going to talk about this. But one more thing that I want to share is learning from the others in the shop by watching how they manage clients, not just how they cut. Okay. And we talked about consistency in the last point there. Suppose the one barber is late, they're not showing up on time, but you speaking and you greeting. That client might be like, oh, he ain't here. Hey, can you take me? I got you. You never know how your professionalism and consistency will show up when the time is right. I'll just leave it at that. But you want to learn by watching others who are, you know, been in the game a little while, seasoned, because you can pick up on techniques. You can pick up on a lot of different things by watching how they manage their clients, and also, you know, even how they cut. Always be open. That's all I say. So let me get this other video up here. It is by Limitless Barber Lounge, and he's going to share here. Let me make sure that I'm pulling up the right one here. Video number 3. Hold on, y'all. Let me grab it. Let me grab it. I want to make sure I'm getting the right one for you. Hold on. Hold on there. I think this is it.
Building a culture in his barbershop.
The owner, you got to be the.
And I get what you said.
This barber actually prioritizes building a culture in his barbershop.
The owner, you got to be the person that's instilling that culture, or if not, it's going to be just another shop. It's a lot more than just setting up some chairs and, all right, guys, get to work. It's your job to find out what it is that they want for their lives so that you guys can collaborate and figure out how to get to where y'all want to be together. Barbering is supposed to be a vehicle for these individuals so that they can provide an actual lifestyle for themselves. And that's why it's important to build culture and brotherhood in the barbershop, because at the end of the day, we're spending a lot of time together.
All right. He is that is so true. And I want to speak on leadership. Leadership in a salon, in a barbershop, don't matter where you at. Leadership is so important. if the leadership isn't intact in terms of leading the crew, then when they say S rolls downhill, you're gonna see that disruption, dysfunction, disharmony. You're gonna see that in the shop. At the end of the day, you do spend a lot of time with your co-barbers and co-stylists. You spend a lot of time with them, especially if you're working in an environment such as a barbershop or salon. If you're not in a suite of your own, or you, something along those lines, you're going to spend a lot of time with the individuals in the shop. So leadership is important, but you playing your part within that team environment is also going to be very important as well. So LaDosha says here, I own the salon, but no doubt I am the coolest assistant on planet Earth. I believe that. And LaDosha, just looking at your videos and your conversation and just seeing how you interact with your staff when you do go live, you would think you're one of them and not you know what I'm saying? At the same time, it's the vibe that you set, it's the pride that you take in what you do, not only for you, but your team members. So it's important. It's very important. So with that, Limitless Barber has shared a few things with us in terms of leadership, in terms of the barber culture, and how we spend a lot of time together and what's needed. I'm going to play that.
This barber actually prioritizes building a culture in his barbershop.
The owner, you got to be the person that's instilling that culture, or if not, it's going to be just another shop. It's a lot more than just setting up some chairs and, all right, guys, get to work. It's your job to find out what it is that they want for their lives so that you guys can collaborate and figure out how to get to where y'all want to be together. Barbering is supposed to be a vehicle for these individuals so that they can provide an actual lifestyle for themselves. And that's why it's important to build culture and brotherhood in the barbershop, because at the end of the day, we're spending a lot of time together.
All right. All I'm going to say is we're spending a lot of time together. So build a team that supports one another, undergirds one another, and, helps to, they know that you're a team when you're in there. I'll say that. The next point I want to share with you all is mastering time and energy. And this is important. That first year is going to bring a lot. It's going to test your stamina. It's going to test you both physically and mentally. It's going to test you. Be prepared. Be prepared to manage the long hours on your feet. I always talk about the proper shoes and posture. I have special shoes that I wear, inserts that I wear. I even wear compression socks. But see, I'm old school. I've been working a long time. You know what I mean? So I know that this career is very, very demanding on the body. Not saying that any other career isn't. I'm speaking of barbering and the beauty industry. It is very, very demanding on the body because you're standing a lot. You're maneuvering your arms, your motor skills, and you're doing all of those things. So it can become very taxing on the body. Physically, mentally, you're engaging in a lot of conversations. I told y'all we're coaches, we're cheerleaders, we're therapists. Sometimes, we take in a lot, we give a lot. Our clients share a lot with us, and I won't necessarily say just the clients. If there's a connection with you and that customer, then that customer may open up and share some things with you. But back to mastering time and energy. This first year, like I said, is going to test you both physically and mentally. Manage those long hours. Make sure that you're equipped with the proper shoes and posture. Get you some stretching in. I still do it to this day. Get you some stretching in and take care of your body. Pace yourself with booking. Um, some people overbook. If you do, that's on you. Um, don't over, I would say not to overpack your schedule. Um, well, if you're managing your time, I don't want it to be like I'm telling you what to do. You do what you can do, but or what you're capable of doing and what you know you can do or can't do for that matter. I I would advise to just to be mindful of your schedule early on, because your body is getting used to it. You want to be in it for the long haul. You want to ensure that your body can withstand whatever time frame you're going to be in the field, which is why I'm going to bring up now: take care of your feet, take care of your body, get your massages, work out, see a chiropractor. These are things that I am doing. Um, Create a personal routine to rest, to exercise, and recover so you don't burn out. You're going to need that downtime. And I know these young folks, um, oftentimes they're chasing the money. Um, how can I say this? Don't hinder your growth by only focusing on the dollars. That's a given. You're gonna make the money. Take care of yourself. Okay. Create a personal routine for rest, exercise, and recovery so you don't burn out. You don't want to burn out before you get started. So with that, I have a video by Groovy the Barber. It's about 1 minute and 30 seconds, but he points out some important information about taking care of yourself. So I want to share this with you as it relates to mastering time and your energy, and how this first year is going to take. It's going to test your stamina. So hold on. All right, let's
We
share
work
this
a
here.
lot, and a lot of people don't understand that barbering,
All right, hold
as a
up.
barber, we stress a lot, we work a lot, and a lot of people don't understand that barbering has a lot of physical stress as much as it has mental stress. Working out is very important. Taking care of your mental health is very important. Today, normally I'd be working, but I took today off to focus on myself, run some errands, get some things done, hit the gym, because on a weekly basis, we deal with so many walks of life. We help so many people. We look out for people. We hear so many stories that sometimes it's hard to even focus on ourselves. And it's really important for us to start learning to take care of ourselves. And what I'm starting to do is take my mornings sometimes, take them off, but go get me a workout in before I start cutting. Because yes, I'll be making less money that way, but I'll be more healthy. I'll be happier. I'll be more successful in the long run rather than the short-term run, because I'm taking care of myself. If I didn't, who knows where I would be. Mentally, I feel like a lot of barbers just go through a lot, and we don't get enough awareness of that. So that being said, barbers, this is your sign. Start working out, taking care of yourself mentally, physically. One, not only your clients need you, but your family needs you. And if you can't offer your family a sharp-minded man to lead, then you're doing them a disservice. So that being said, man, get in the gym, man. Take care of yourself, man. From one barber to another, I understand. Let's get to it.
All right. He's giving us some tips on taking care of ourselves mentally and physically. We give a lot, and we have to give ourselves a lot so that we can keep being there for our clients. It's enough that the profession in and of itself is very demanding on the body, um, physically and mentally as well, because you got to be sharp and on your game with your cutting and knowing what you're doing and being in the moment when you're offering and providing those services. So um, yeah, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Get the proper rest, exercise, and recover so you don't burn out. Like he said, You know, you won't get to the bag, and I'm paraphrasing, you won't get to the bag, but you got to balance it out, because you can't burn yourself out and then on the back end, you can't do it. You know, you can't do it. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Just remember that first year is going to challenge your stamina, both physically and mentally. I'm going to leave it at that. Take care of yourself. The fifth point here is continuing education and continuing to grow. Graduation isn't the end of learning, it's the beginning. So those of you who are finishing up your program, even if you're getting into the program, school is just the beginning. School is the foundation. Graduation isn't the end when you finish. I still pick up my book and I read. I go to shows. I take classes. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to take another class this week. I'm not going to talk about it just yet because it's a credential that I'll be adding to myself as a barber stylist. But anywho, I'll talk more about it in the coming weeks. But I am getting another certification. So let me back up. In the state of South Carolina, barbers and master hair care aren't required to do continuing education. However, because I know the importance of education in any field, but more specifically being in this industry and staying on top of, current trends and your product knowledge and, things along that line, it is very important to me. So this next subject is continuing education and growth. Graduation isn't the end of learning, it's the beginning. Staying sharp. As you stay sharp, you're able to bring that education and knowledge to your clients. Okay. Once again, we're not required to do continuing ed, but just know if you're not keeping up, if you're not expanding your knowledge, you're dating yourself. You are not bringing the most current and best to your clients. But if that's what you want, so be it, to each his own. But I would say attend at least one barbering class or workshop or hair show, not only just in your first year, but invest in yourself. Take a course. If you're a barber that don't do a lot of shear work, get a course on cutting. Learn how to cut the top of the hair, straight hair. Become a little more proficient with it. I did. I told you I went to Great Clips because I wanted to learn how to cut straight hair. And in learning to cut straight hair, I not only began to master my fading with the repetition, but I also became more proficient with cutting straight hair or the top of the head using my shears. Okay, so take a class here and there, brush up on some skills, learn something new. As I mentioned to you a few minutes ago, I'm preparing to take a class that's going to not only how can I express this without telling it? I'm preparing to take a course that's going to give me another specialty. I'll just say that. It's going to give me another specialty, even though I've been trained to work with these individuals. It's going to add another layer. I'll just say that. And I think it's befitting for what I do too. But nonetheless, just advance your training. I'll say I encourage you to advance your training. Invest in upgrading your tools one at a time as your income grows. And some people got it and they can do it. And I say invest in your tools because some places don't give out the best of the best tools. Some places, and I should say not places, but barbering institutes, you may not get the top of the line clippers, or you may not get the top of the line, I don't know. You're going to end up investing anyway, because the tools that you get in barber school are not going to last you forever. You might have to send them back to get repaired. Or some people don't send them into the clipper company to be repaired. They might be able to fix them themselves, or they toss them and get something new. But anywho, invest in your, upgrading your tools or expanding your implements and tools. I'll just share that. Invest in your tools. All right. Invest in yourself, invest in your tools, invest in your education. Ask a mentor for feedback on cuts and customer service to keep your skills sharpened. To this day, I still talk to my instructors. I talk to my mentors, and I even talk to some of my co-stylists or co-barbers, to check in with them. I may see something that I admire about what they do, and they ask me as well. So I ask for feedback because I don't know everything. I'm learning to do some pixie cut now, and some other stuff with shear work. I can do some basic stuff, but I'm learning to expand my services that I offer in terms of say shear cutting per se. Yes, I can do some long layers and some basic stuff, but all the fancy, pixie cutting and short cuts with the shears, I ain't there yet, but I'm working on it. Okay, because there's a lot of short hair wearing individuals out there. But nonetheless, with this fifth point, continuing education and growth, you continue your education is going to help you grow, and therefore you'll be able to bring that information to your clients as well as share it with them, ultimately expanding their knowledge as well. So remember, graduation isn't the end of learning, it's the beginning. Okay. And as I mentioned before, you want to attend classes, workshops, or hair shows, not only just in your first year, but you want to do that to continuously grow as a professional, and invest in upgrading your tools and your implements. You always want to ensure that you got the best tools to help you offer that service. Okay, whatever that means to you. If it's 5 clippers or 20 trimmers, hey, so be it. I'm being facetious, y'all, but nonetheless, invest in your tools and implements. All right, have the best so you can do the best. Ask members, ask your mentors for feedback on cuts and customer service. One, because it helps you to stay sharp, and it helps you, with your skill set as well. Learning, yeah. LaDosha says facts here. I got one more video on this, and then I do have a last one for the bonus point that I'm going to share with you, and I'm not going to talk y'all ear off on this, but let me get to this one video here about, it's by Taught by Phil, and basically he's talking about learning gap versus earning gap, and how you want to learn so you can earn, and not try to earn before you really master your skill set. So hold on here. Let me get that up for you. Let me get that up.
Problem is when barbers will graduate barber school.
Okay, hold on.
As soon as you graduate barber school, the first thing you want to do is just make a lot of money. And so the problem is when barbers will graduate barber school is they want to go into a shop and make a lot of money, and they want to just make as much money as possible. The longer that you can hold off on your investment, the more it's going to benefit you in the long run. Yeah, I'm not like pointing fingers and shaming people for doing shit. I'm telling you because I used to be that guy. And yeah, I understand like getting your reps is important. Your skill sets aren't on the level of the other barbers that you're working in the shop with. So your first thing that you should be doing is investing into your education. The moment that you cash out and that you're focused on making money, you stop growing as a barber.
All right, y'all. You heard it. I'll just say, to each his own. Everybody's skill set is different. You do have some individuals that come in barber school and they know how to cut. They're probably just there just to go through the motions to get their training so they can, move on. They need the license. Bottom line for me, balance it. Balance it. If you're coming in the industry and you don't have the clientele, you're going to have some slow weeks. Okay. We talked about that already. You're not going to be making money coming out the gate unless you already got clientele. So we're going to have some slow weeks. So it's going to be a slow climb unless you get on your grind and get it. But nonetheless, balance it. I'm just going to say balance it. Just balance it. Don't put one before the other, especially if you put the money before the skill set and you ain't got the skill set to make the money. Then you better lean heavily on your customer service and consistency. I'm telling you, lean heavily on that customer service and consistency. You won't make that money. But take care of your customers. Take care of your customers. They're going to take care of you. All right? Be consistent. The bonus point that I want to share with you is about protecting your passion. I got a video on this by Cut Flow Dre. You don't want to lose your passion. He's going to talk about that. But I want to say barbering can feel overwhelming in your first professional year with long hours, demanding clients, and balancing life outside of the shop. You want to protect your passion. So protecting your passion means intentionally feeding the love you have for your craft. And also feeding yourself by taking time out, taking time to rest or exercise and to recover so you don't burn out. You want to be in it for the long haul. And the way to protect your passion is to feed it, but also feed you so you can continue to feed your passion. Like I said, you want to schedule time. Practice your creative cuts and styles, those things that you enjoy, not just what the client requests. That's a way to protect your passion. Work on those things, those cuts and those styles that you enjoy doing. Attend shows and expos and classes. I mentioned that just in the continue ed, the fifth point. But attend those things because oftentimes you can draw inspiration. You hear somebody speak and it triggers a fire in you, or if you're feeling burnout and you go to one of these shows, expos, or classes, and one says something that motivates you or lights the fire back in you again, or provides you with a perspective that you hadn't thought about, or you have a conversation, and it gives you what you need to keep pursuing your passion. And another thing, and I want to share this, set boundaries so you don't burn out. Okay. So the burnout doesn't steal your joy, and learn when to say no, and say it with a smile. No, thank you. No. And be okay with it. Don't be a yes woman or yes man. I'm thinking about my dear. Yes, man. I mean, ma'am. Yes, man. No, just kidding. So learn to say no, or learn when to say no, and when to rest, because that's going to be important. This profession is physically demanding on the body. And because we engage with clients, you know, they counselors, therapists, cheerleaders, all of that, mentally, we give a lot as well. So you want to be able to take care of yourself so that you can protect your passion. And with that, I want to share this video here.
Why don't you try changing your approach on how you think about it?
All
Hey, real
right.
quick, if you find yourself getting burnt out and losing passion for this, why don't you try changing your approach on how you think about it, right? Instead of thinking about what it does and doesn't do for you, think about what you do for others. Think about how good you make them feel and how good you make them look. Think about that. That's the beautiful part.
All right. So if you are someone who's at that point and you reach burnout or you nearing burnout, change your mindset. Think about what you do for others. What is your impact to them? Preferably that'll inspire you to keep it going. You know, your first year as a professional barber is about planting seeds, not harvesting. You got to plant in order to harvest. Okay, it's gonna come. You will reap if you sow. This is the time that you sow. And I'm gonna tell you, like one of my spiritual, uh, um, I call him my spiritual father, would tell me, if you're gonna reap what you sow, then you might as well sow that what you want to reap. So in saying that, you're not gonna get a harvest right now. This is planting season. You're planting by being disciplined. You're planting by building consistency. You're planting by your customer service. You're planting by being on time, showing up, taking care of your clients, you know, doing those little things that count for them. You're planting by being present when you have that client in the chair, giving them as much as your undivided attention as you can. I'm just gonna say that because you know a lot of things go on in the shop. You know, you got to be mindful and aware of what's going on around you. At least you should. You know, sometimes I would get zoned out and you know it just be me and the client in the space. But in that, let me get back to the point. You're planting, not harvesting. You will reap the harvest, but you got to plant. Okay. You won't have a full client book right away unless you've already been planting. You've already been building your clientele, or you're someone who's been in it cutting and you just need to go through school to get the paperwork and so you can become legitimate and you got clientele. That's cool. But for the average, you won't have a full book right away, and that's okay. It really is okay. Focus on discipline, your professionalism, and consistent growth. That's going to help you. Your discipline about your profession, your professionalism, and how you carry yourself, and your consistency. That's going to help you to level up. It's going to help you continue to grow, and you're going to see your clientele grow as well. So today's episode hopefully is giving you some clarity in reference to the first year. Quick recap of these 5 points plus the bonus point is financial, the financial reality of it. You're going to have some slow weeks. You could keep track of your expenses, plan your budget accordingly. Building clientele. Give every client the same professional experience, okay? You want consistency with them, whether it's the first time or the 5th time. Give them the same professional experience. Use social media to put your work out there. Whatever consistency in terms of posting is for you, do that. Create some incentives. Do some discount referrals. Whatever it is you deem necessary for you to begin to build your clientele and also help you with gaining repeat customers. Third is shop culture and professionalism. Respect the rules of the place that you're in. I say, there's some shop talk, but avoid gossip or conflicts if at all possible, because you never know how that can come back to bite you in the butt. All right. And you never know who's in the shop, who knows who know what. You just never know. And learn from seasoned barbers too. The fourth thing is mastering time and your energy. That first year is going to test your stamina, both physically and mentally. So be prepared to take care of yourself. LaDosha says here, retention, retail, and referrals is the name of the game. Retention, retail, and referrals. You're right. It really is the name of the game. Patient booking. People may not agree with me on this, but if you can handle it, then do what you see. I just say try not to overpack your schedule or overbook your schedule, because you can easily run into challenges and problems doing that. But if you're able to handle it and manage it, go for it. Create a personal routine, rest, exercise, and recovery time so you don't burn out. Groovy the Barber talked about taking care of yourself, working out, balancing all of that. So not only you can be there for yourself, your family, but your clients. And the fifth point was about continuing education and growth. As I mentioned before, here in the state of South Carolina, CEUs or continuing education is not required. However, I know the importance of it, so I actually invest in myself. I just say that I invest in myself, and like I said, I'm taking a course this week, which is going to give me it's going to add another layer to a specialty that I already have. I'll say that, and it's going to open some more doors for me. I believe I'm speaking it into existence. It's going to open some doors for me. Yeah, graduation isn't the end of learning, it's the beginning. And then the bonus point I said, protect your passion, schedule time to practice those creative cuts, those creative things that you like to do and enjoy, not just what your client requests. Attend, shows, expos, get you some additional training. It offers knowledge. It offers inspiration in some instances for those who are coming to that burnout point or they're at that burnout phase. Yeah. And the last thing is setting boundaries. You got to be able to set boundaries, know when to say no and when to rest. Those were the points that I have. Like I said, I hope that this episode has provided some clarity for you off the heels of episode number 35, which was about the first year in barber school. This is about the first year behind the chair. I provided you with my experience and some points that I think are important to take into consideration or that you can expect or should be on the lookout for as it relates to your first year behind the chair. Do subscribe to Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button to subscribe to the channel. Watch it on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you're watching us from, go ahead and hit that follow button. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Yah-Tay the Barber Stylist. And don't forget to grab your copy of my award-winning book, A Heritage of Hair, Living the Legacy of My Heritage. It is a full, complete color book. I chose to do color because I was copying pictures of pictures, and you know how the pixels start to look bad. Some of them were very, very old, so I figured if I just keep it in color, it'll look better. I'll just say it'll look better because I have some old ones. And as I mentioned, it is an award-winning book. I won 3 book awards, some Lit Star book awards for book cover design, as you can see here. Published with a purpose, social awareness, and first-time author. So that is available for inspiration on my journey, how I got started, how I was introduced to it, what put me, and I like to say back on course because I grew up in it. I didn't go into it. And I say back on course because of my introduction to it. I talk about that in this book, talk about what was the life-changing event to get me going in this direction, and some of the challenges I went through to achieve the goal of becoming a barber stylist, a master hair care. So it's not just about barbering, it's also about my legacy within it, which is hence a heritage of hair, a career, and its legacy. So until next time, y'all stay sharp, stay patient with yourself. Those of you who are entering into the field as a professional now, coming out of school as a barber student, be patient with yourself. Know that it is going to happen. Like Cole Cut said, have a strategy: who, what, when, where, how. I did it. I didn't necessarily think it out like that. But nonetheless, put your strategy together. Remember, you are your business. You're a walking billboard. So look the part, dress the part. Yeah, honor your craft. So stay sharp, be patient, honor your craft, and it's going to honor you in the end. Remember, this is a season of planting. You will harvest soon. You will harvest soon. Focus on your customer service. You might not be the best cutter in the barbershop. If you're a stylist watching this, you might not be the best of the best right now. But do your best at what you do best, and the rest will come. Invest in your craft. Put the time in. I'm still putting in time. As a matter of fact, when I get off now, I got some studying. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell y'all. So I took another step by the encouragement of my professor. I put my application together. I got the money order together. I got all the documentation together except for one. I got to take another TB test because mine is expired, to submit with the application for me to apply for taking my barber instructor exam, practicum and theory. My goal is to have it done and passed by the end of the year. But I was encouraged to put the application together. And like I say, once I get the TB test, then I'll have it notarized and then I can send it out. LaDosha says, great show. Thank you. I want to speak on that, y'all. Like I say, I'm putting together individuals to come early on. It's a bit of a challenge with starting, running, and producing a podcast, because I have a passion for teaching. I have been teaching. I love sharing what I know. Yes, you're an excellent teacher. Oh, thank you. I will be bringing some important and things that I believe are important, are things that I have my ear to the, to the streets, hearing about, bringing that forth as well, because my interest is with students and individuals newly in the industry, as I am. I've been in 5 years, to include school. I grew up in it, but that's neither here nor there. I've always been around it. I'll just say that I've always been around it. But I will be putting out more information, more nuggets, more tips, more more things as it relates to the industry and from different vantage points. So I will be bringing that forth as well, getting more guests on, and just bringing you the best of me with what I have. So I wanted to share that with you. I'll keep you posted about when I do get the application in, because it takes some time. You know, state board can be a little slow with stuff. But anywho, I do have it put together, and I just gotta wait to get the TB test taken. I'm coordinating with the VA to get that done, so that I can send my package in and wait for them to send me the email saying that you can take your state board. So I don't know if I'm going to do the theory part first or the practicum. Either way, I got to get them both done. So that's in the works as well. And I think that is all that I want to share as it relates to this topic. So once again, this has been episode number 36, from barber student to professional barber, what to expect in your first year behind the chair. And as I shared, there are many things that individuals would deem important as it relates to what to expect in your first year. But these are some things that I believe to be important for new barbers, new master hair care professionals, or barber stylists, or cosmetologists. The financial reality of it all, building clientele, the shop culture or salon culture, and professionalism in those environments, as well as what you bring, and mastering your time and energy, as well as continuing your education and growth. And the last bonus point that I also added was protecting your passion, so that you can have a long career in it. You got to protect your passion. And once again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. See you next Sunday. This is an excellent podcast. Thank you so much, LaDosha. And I will see you tomorrow night and Thursday. I'm looking forward to these conversations that you all are bringing on the number one podcast in the world, Planet Pluto Pseudo, the Afro Hair Science podcast. Y'all, please tune in to LaDosha Wright and the Hair Oracle, Mrs. Cheryl Morrow, on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On you can go to LaDosha Wright's. You see her name here, LaDosha Wright's the YouTube channel, and catch her there. And on Thursday nights, it's at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They've been having some excellent conversations. I'm so grateful to be in the industry at this time, being a part of what's happening, the shift that's taking place, because there is a shift that is happening, and just being in the conversation. Grateful for it. So without further ado, I'm going to close it out. Episode 36, from barber student to professional barber, what to expect in the first year behind the chair. This has been Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. I'm Yah-Tay Keaton, your host and barber stylist. I'll see you all next time. Remember to stay sharp, stay patient. My first year out of a barber school and master haircare school, professionals, and honor your craft. Honor your craft. See y'all soon. Thank you.
I am real Naturals, naturals.